morning, everyone, and welcome to this Google Digital Garage training session all about creating video for YouTube. My name's Kirsty. I'm a trainer for Google's free skills training program, Google Digital Garage. A bit about myself. I've worked in this industry now for around 7 years, and my absolute favourite thing to do is to help businesses and especially startups and not-for-profits start to understand what they can do to connect with those human beings on the other side of their content to really start building their audience and their brand online. But I'm not up here alone this morning. In the chat, we do have our lovely moderator, Chami. You might have already seen him saying hello there in the right-hand side of this video. If you can see him, please do go across, say hello, introduce yourself, let us know why you're signing in today, what it is that you're signing in for. Is there something specific with YouTube that you've thought, that session seems like a really good place for me to start with getting started with a YouTube channel? And what is it that you want to use YouTube for with your business? And I can see a couple of hellos coming through there already. So keep saying hello while you're introducing yourself and saying hello over there to Chami. I'm going to run through a little bit of housekeeping. So first of all, if you have any trouble or any issues at any point hearing or seeing the webinar, please do try refreshing your browser. Hopefully that will help fix any slight issues with any tech things or fuzzy pictures or sound problems that you're having. Hopefully that will fix any of those issues going forward, and you can make sure that you're with us completely 100%. If at any point you are struggling to comment in that chat and you're thinking, I really want to get involved with that chat and I can't, then you might need to make sure that you're logged into your YouTube account, and that will allow you to have a conversation with us in that chat, like I was just telling you, because we can't see you, we can't hear you, but we can make that chat as interactive as possible to really, really start having a conversation and make sure you're getting the most out of this session possible. Now, I will be pausing throughout to answer any questions, but again, Chami is also there, ready and waiting for your questions, and he's also going to be sharing some amazing links for you and some tips and tricks to add to your toolbox as we move through the entire session. And finally, this is not a standalone session. If this is your first session with us today, in the description, in the video description below this video, you will find a link to our website, which I'm sure Chami can share for you also in the chat. When you go to our website, you can also find our broader offering of courses. There is a whole schedule there. For those of you based in the UK, there's a face-to-face schedule, so you can see if there's any physical locations where you can come and see the team in person. And there's also a whole schedule of upcoming virtual training webinars like this one of all different topics in the digital realm that you can book to attend, and hopefully we'll see you there. So that's the housekeeping done. We're going to break up today's session into 3 clear areas. First of all, we're going to think about finding our niche. Second, I want to start thinking about the content itself. What are the steps that we need to take when it comes to planning and shooting any YouTube content that we want to create for our YouTube channel? And then finally, once we've started getting going with that content, how do we get discovered? And how do we continue to track what success means to our organization with this YouTube channel? So that's how we're going to break up today's session in that 3 clear sections. Before we jump into the first part though, another link for you in the chat, I want to highlight this amazing opportunity for you to book a one-to-one mentoring session completely for free with a Google mentor or coach. And as long as you're based in the UK and you're a UK charity, organization, small business, maybe you're a sole trader, maybe you're a startup, you can book a whole hour with someone like Chami, someone like myself, and you can talk through anything that comes up in today's session or other sessions that you have attended, that you need a little bit more specific guidance that's tailored directly to your situation and your business. So we can talk about a range of digital skills there. It doesn't just have to be linked to YouTube. Maybe you've attended an ad session or an analytics session or a strategy session. You can sign up for multiple one-to-ones and start to break up that knowledge in those instances. So hopefully we'll see you there as well. And I can see that chat, link has been shared by Chami in the chat there. So thank you very much, Chami. Couple of statistics to get us started. YouTube is where people are watching. 2 billion logged in users every month. YouTube is not only the world's largest video network, but it's also the second largest search engine behind Google in the world. Just think about that for a moment. The second largest search engine behind Google. So the platform of YouTube is going to allow us to share and create space to share our stories and start to connect directly with the customers or the watchers, the viewers that you want to get in front of. Almost 1 billion hours of YouTube videos are watched every single day. That's a lot of videos. That's a lot of hours. And 500 hours of video is uploaded to YouTube every minute. Some really mind-blowing, almost uncomprehendable statistics there to think about when it comes to how many people are active on this video sharing platform. So being present on YouTube is potentially going to allow us to have a voice and start to create opportunity to connect with different audiences. Now, YouTube's mission is to give everyone a voice and give everyone a voice to have the ability to see the world. So YouTube's mission acts on these 4 essential values of freedom that you can see on the screen here. First one, freedom of expression. This is the fact that on YouTube, people can express themselves, share their story with the world. And it's the idea that everyone has something important to say. And YouTube believes that people should be able to speak freely, share opinions, foster an open dialogue, and create that creative freedom that's going to lead to new voices, new formats, new possibilities. So that's the first essential value of freedom that YouTube's mission is focused on. The second is freedom of information. Everyone should have easy, open access to information. And video is a hugely powerful force for education, for building understanding, for documenting huge events and also small events all over the world. So whether your passion is cars or cakes, there is space for you and your passion on YouTube. The third essential value of freedom for opportunity. On YouTube, anyone can follow their passion, can create something that everyone can watch, and everyone should have the chance to be discovered or build a business or succeed on their own terms. So on YouTube, people, not gatekeepers, decide exactly what's going to be popular. And finally, the freedom to belong. Everyone should be able to find communities of support, break down barriers, transcend borders, and come together around those shared interests and passions. So it's really interesting to start to understand YouTube's mission and the 4 essential values of freedom that YouTube's mission is centered around. The first step for us when it comes to creating that channel is start to understand and define a message for exactly what videos we're going to be creating by finding your niche. Really, really important. So we can start to separate this into the what, the why, and the who. What is your channel going to be about? Why are you creating content? Is it for fun, potential work, you documenting experiences? And finally, who is your audience? Who's going to watch your content? This is going to help us decide on a range of things, whether that be the style of our videos, the tone of our videos, and creating a real full rounded idea of exactly what we're going to do, why we want to do it, and who we're aiming that at. It's going to help us find a focus so we can create that attention to detail and create content that has a specific purpose to serve. So let's break down each of these areas and start with the what. What is your channel going to be about? Now, one of the best things about YouTube is that you can engage and continue to grow a community no matter what your passion is about. And that definition of passion, a strong or extravagant fondness, enthusiasm, or desire for anything. What's your passion? Can you define exactly what your channel is going to be about? And once you've decided that through YouTube, you then have the power to connect with a hugely diverse audience that has that same passion as you. So when you're thinking about your passion, ask yourself questions like, what are your values? What are your beliefs? What are you passionate about? What's your story? Have you got a personal story that you can really showcase and build trust with your viewers? And if at this point you're unsure what your channel is going to be about, and you're thinking, I have a rough idea, but I'm not totally sure, look through content that you enjoy watching. Start thinking about subjects that excite you, because that's always a great place to start. You can also use things like the trending, what's trending on YouTube page to find some inspiration of what's popular, what are people watching within your set of interests. But one of the key ingredients to finding that success on YouTube is being passionate about the content that you're making. And the first step of that is to decide exactly what your YouTube channel is going to be about. Now, once you've done that, once you've defined your passion, we can move to the why. Why are we creating content? Which translates to identifying our goal. Can we start to understand what the mission of our channel is going to be? Why did we join YouTube, and what do we want to accomplish when it comes to creating that content? Now, you might want to build awareness of your passion. You might want to influence your viewers. You might want to entertain people, educate people. Really start understanding why you want to create this content. And we've got 3 examples on the screen there. We've first got Mama Sherry, going from left to right. Now, Mama Sherry, I want to inspire people to love and cook soul food. And actually on Mama Sherry's channel, in the About section, she has a welcome to my channel, together with my family, my foster children, my friends. We want to share soul food recipes. So Mama Sherry's really about inspiring people to want to love and cook soul food, and has really, really clearly identified that goal. Then we have Super Sorrel, completely different type of YouTube channel in the middle. I want to create a community of nostalgic toy collectors. So this YouTube channel is aimed at adult nostalgic toy collectors, and Super Sorrel actually posts daily, 7 days a week, bringing different toy content, action figure reviews, everything to his viewers. And actually in one of his taglines, he's got, I unbox things so you don't have to. And again, finally, the why, the goal for our final example here, we've got Detailing World on the end. I want to share my passion for cleaning cars. Detailing World actually started as a forum and used YouTube to start showcasing videos of what they were doing in their Detailing World business. And now on YouTube has grown a huge community from the original forum that Detailing World started as. So defining that clear goal, along with combined with the what that you've thought about, you can actually start to use that as a really solid foundation to plan your content. So in the chat, and I can see a couple of you have already started this, but tell me in the chat, what is your what and what is your why? As I've been talking through, these few slides, have you started to have some ideas come through? And I can see a couple of comments coming through there. My passion is creating smartphone mobile app tutorial videos on YouTube. Yes, nice. And the why, to educate, inspire people on how to use mobile applications on their smartphone. Nice. Kaz, my passion is to teach esoteric subjects, esoteric subjects. Maybe you can teach me something there, Kaz. Also help in how to get through certain life traumas. I mean, yeah, great passion there, Kaz. Can you give us a why? Have you got a goal, the reason that you want to do that? But yeah, nice. Thank you so much. And anyone else that's out there that wants to share their passion, their what and their why, please do let Chami know in the chat, and I will come back to them if I have time. But I'm sure Chami is ready and waiting to read them. So once you've got your what and why, your third part of this puzzle is your who. Your what, your why, your who. So we need to start thinking about who we're telling the story to. Who are we targeting? And start identifying that audience. Who's going to be watching our channel? Now you can get really detailed with this and start creating what we call a persona for your channel. Who and where is your audience? Think about all the details. What age group are they in? What's their parental status, their household income, all the demographic information. Then start to think, okay, what are their behaviors and interests, their hobbies? Are they into music, movies, sport? Do they have pets? And then we can also start breaking down the video content that they're watching. Is it informational? Is it conversational? Is it social, emotional? So build up a really clear picture of exactly who your persona is. And a persona is a representation of your ideal subscriber. It's a representation. It doesn't have to be one specific person. It can include a couple of different things that you've noticed about the people that are potentially going to be connecting with your content. Who's going to come back time and time again to watch your videos, refer you to new subscribers, comment, share? Creating a persona is going to help you check in and make sure that all the content you're creating aligns not only with your passion, but also with the why, your goal. Now, there's so many different sources that you can draw from when you're doing your market research around creating a persona. And there's a great tool that I'm sure Chami can share in the chat that's part of the Think with Google a toolkit, and it's called Find My Audience. Now, it's a great tool with YouTube because it allows you to identify pain points, desired experiences, values, and goals of people that are watching on YouTube. So that's the first way where you can start creating this market research, is that tool, Find My Audience. If you've already got a YouTube channel and you've got existing subscribers, have a look what content is doing really well, what content's not doing so well, and start to utilize some of the tools in the background of your YouTube channel. You do have a set of insights where you can have a look at some of that statistical data, have a look at some of the demographic information that you're already gaining on that YouTube channel, and see whether the people watching your channel are the people you thought would be watching your channel. Check your assumptions. So a persona can be a great tool when you're creating content, because whenever you get stuck, you can ask yourself, what would this person want to see on my channel in the next few weeks, few months, whatever that is. So we've got Rowan here, who's 27, works 9 to 5, UK, car enthusiast, goes to car shows, takes pride in his car, frequents online forums, goes to YouTube to learn, and has 2 kids, but is always short of time. So now we have that what, why, and who. The what, my passion is looking after cars, if you remember our example of detailing world. The why, I want to share my knowledge and teach others. And who, we've created a persona who was our Rohan on the previous page, who is a car enthusiast who loves cars. So now we can start to generate some of those video ideas by maybe showcasing tips on how to look after your car. Having these 3 clear areas can start to help you identify your niche. Which brings me to my first pausing for questions. Please do, at any point, if you've got any questions, pop them in the chat. Again, there's 2 of us here to answer those questions. So I will be pausing again 2 more times. I can't see any coming through right now, but I'll come back and answer any that come through. And I'm sure Chami is there as well. So let me know if there are any questions so far. Which brings us to part 2 of today's session, which is about creating engaging content. Now, what are all the things that we need to do, from planning our content through to strategizing how to release that content, and the equipment that we need to actually create the content? Quick question for you. For you personally, what makes engaging YouTube content? Tell me in the chat. Why do you enjoy watching YouTube videos? What makes you press subscribe? What makes you share? What makes engaging content? Tell me in the chat. I would absolutely love to see a couple of answers come through here. Now, there's no right or wrong answer. It's, as we'll see when things come through, this question is really about personal preference. It's really about understanding what your audience wants on YouTube. And each audience group, each set of persona that you create is going to want to engage with something slightly different. Now, there might be a few crossovers, things like not having a jumpy visual that's poor quality, for example. But what is it about the actual content that you watch that makes you come back for more? And I'll come back. I would definitely come back to see some of these, because it's really, really important to start thinking about it. Now, for me, one thing that makes me come back with YouTube is not only the quality, but also the person that's delivering that content. For me is really important. Are they relatable? Can I connect with them? Do they speak clearly? And do they feel false? Because if they feel false to me on YouTube, I don't tend to come back for more. I want that kind of authentic connection when I'm watching any YouTubers or any YouTube content. Increase awareness of their interest. Yes, Shabam. Absolutely. Kaz, something that you can relate to or makes you think. Yeah, absolutely. So the content itself has to connect with you. To share the set of niche that those are interested. Yeah. So have that connection in the same niche, that same passion, which is why that what and the why is really important. Yeah. Really, really interesting, some of those answers. And thank you for commenting. If you do have any other comments on what you think makes engaging YouTube content, please do let us know in the chat. So when it comes to creating content, we can break this up into 4 clear steps. And I'm going to break these down individually, but we've got research and plan, creating that foundation, having your equipment ready for action, creating the actual content itself and everything to think about around that step-by-step process. And finally, organizing and editing your content so that it's ready to go and it's ready to post live. Now, starting with researching and planning, get inspired. Being well informed can really kickstart that creative process when it comes to creating content. Look at competitors. Look what's already being done. Listen to experts, someone who's lived and experienced and learned from their story. Analyze the news in your specific niche. Look at social media trends. Look at search trends. And start to determine how these trends are contributing to the conversation you want to get involved with. Now, we've mentioned that Find My Audience tool, which is a great tool you can get started with here. There's also another tool that we've got screenshots of on the screen called Google Trends. Then this is, again, a free tool that you can use to start tracking the popularity of various search terms, not only over a period of time, but also within a specific location. If you've already got a YouTube channel, remember you can also, with your research, start to utilize your YouTube search traffic in the back ends, in the YouTube analytics. In the YouTube analytics, you've also got so many different ways that you can start to monitor the specific performance of your channel, of your individual videos already in existence, and have a look at that those up-to-date metrics and those up-to-date reports. So it's really important that you start with the research. You start with being informed. And once you've researched your passion, your audience, and everything in between, then you can start to think about the type of content that you want to create. And you want to ask yourself here, okay, there's different types of content that we can create. What's the right type of content for my channel? Consider the time you've got. Consider the resources that you have access to. What can you realistically achieve within your day-to-day? And how can you make time for your channel and time to create high-quality content? And you've got a number of different options when it comes to the type of content that you want to create. Are you going to create one-off videos? Get your message across with that quick, impactful hit? Are you going to create short-form content? This is where we keep our videos under 3 minutes. And again, we can create regular short-form video. Are you going to create longer form video? Long form on YouTube typically means anything over 3 minutes. So podcasts, interviews, live streams, documentaries. Are you going to create series? Are you going to create a story that you can break up into a range of different length or different in-depth size videos where you have part 1, part 2, part 3, and you can either release them all at once within a playlist, or you can keep coming back, keep people coming back weekly or monthly to see each part. It can become a regular post for your channel. Now, what I'd recommend is potentially thinking, how can I start small and then start to build what we post as we grow into our new platform? Maybe you want to test or try a couple of different styles of content with your audience, see what lands with them. But when deciding on what content works best for you, refer back to your what, your why, and your who. One thing that can be really helpful is to think about creating what we call a release schedule, starting to create an understanding of exactly when you're going to post, how many videos you're going to post per week, per month, what days of the week are you going to release on? Are you going to use multiple different content types? Maybe you're going to have short form content and long form content, and you're going to release them in rotation over a period of time. And now, are you going to link your content to any specific days of the week? Now, what we mean by that, I'm sure you've seen those kind of related days of the week: Motivational Monday, Tech Review Tuesday, Fun Facts Friday. Is there a particular day of the week that you can actually link your content to? That could be an interesting approach. But any video, any piece of content that you create, we need to craft the structure of that content. Once we've decided on the type of content we want to create, how are we going to tell your story? And no matter the length of video that you choose to create as content, all stories have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And when it comes to structuring the videos, try and follow that same concept. What's the beginning of your story? What's the hook of your video? How are you going to introduce them to what it is you are going to talk about? The middle, this is where our main content sits. It's where we're going to communicate and engage with the people watching our content. And the end, CTA, call to action. How can we give our audience a clear, actionable thing to do, whether that is comment, subscribe, watch another video that you have? Again, think back to your goal. What is it that you are trying to achieve with this channel? And how can you instruct your audience to follow through in order to get you closer to achieving that goal? So as well as creating a schedule for these videos and deciding what type of videos you're going to create, but before we get to filming and actually even writing down any content ideas, have you got a structure? Have you started to understand how you want to structure the beginning, middle, and end of each of your videos? And then again, before we get to the filming part, maybe you want to write a script. Maybe you want to structure some bullet points of some key talking points in each part of that video. When you're writing either full scripts or bullet points that can be referred to for your videos, think about speaking directly to your audience, kind of like what I'm doing today with you here. I'm speaking directly to you. I'm not speaking to either someone else over there, or I'm not speaking in third person. I'm speaking live to you. Can you write down, if you're someone who wants to create a full script, can you write that script down in the way that you would say it? And the way that you can tell that is once you've written down your ideas of what you want to say, read it out loud. See what fits your natural tonation and what doesn't. The other way that you can use as a planning tool is actually create yourself a film storyboard. You don't have to be an artist. You could be drawing stickmen at this point. You don't have to be a full-on artist to create a storyboard. You could do this on a piece of paper. You could do this in a notepad and start to plan out the specific scenes that you want for your video. Remember the beginning, the middle, and the end. And then underneath, you can start to plan out the shots that you want in detail. The more you plan, the easier it's going to be to shoot your video. And some of the key details that we need to think about: visuals, audio, props, and do you need a crew? Now, when we say crew, do you need any help? So when I've created some YouTube videos, my crew has been my younger brother in the past, trailing round anywhere with me to make sure my phone tripod is set up right, or maybe kind of chuck things through the frame. You know, it doesn't have to be a paid for crew. Do you need help? Is there someone that can help you out to film that content? If it's in a working environment, is there someone in the office? Do you need something passed to you while you're in shot? When it comes to props, think about actually what is needed to make that shot effective, rather than just throwing in loads of props for the sake of it. And when it comes to sound, can you be heard? But then also thinking, what else can be heard in that shot? Is there background noise? Is there music? Because that's going to be really important. If you haven't licensed to have that music in the audio, then you risk that piece of content being taken down. So really thinking about what's going to be heard in that piece of content. Now, when it comes to equipment, sometimes when people are just getting started, they think, oh, I need to have a fancy studio, brand new equipment. I need to think about turning the cupboard under the stairs into a studio space that I can use to create my content. No. The good news is that you probably already have a lot of the things that you need to get started. The first one, a camera. If you've got a decent mobile phone, that is most definitely going to have a high enough resolution for you to get started with good enough content. In terms of lighting, if you don't have any lighting that's not natural lighting, sit in front of a window, film outside. Beware of shadows, especially if your face is in a video. You don't want shadows kind of across your face being really distracting. Face a window. Start to play with the different times of day around the environment that you're filming. Now, when it comes to video editing, the first place that you could start, if you've got absolutely no idea, is to actually use the editing touch-ups feature in YouTube Studio. You can add, you can edit, you can end screens, you can trim sections of your video before and after publishing it to YouTube. I did see that Chami put in iMovie. So those of you that have Apple devices, iMovie is a great piece of software that you can use completely for free. You can always add to this equipment. Start with the basics and then add to it. Now, a couple of the few things that you might want to add. Tripod. I mentioned having a tripod for my phone. I have one similar to this actually, with a button, but also it can be a selfie stick. The legs kind of fold in as well. This is all about giving your videos that professional look that's steady and not kind of moving around in someone's hand. Now, there's a couple of really affordable choices out there, and the results can be really valuable in increasing and enhancing that content that you're creating. Lighting. If you're at a point where you think, right, I'm going to source some lighting, have a look for some affordable LED lighting options. It's going to enable you to have a bit more flexibility for where you shoot and when you shoot in terms of the time of day that you get that natural light. And make sure that the light is coming from behind the camera to where you're shooting, rather than having the light behind the object or the person that you're shooting. Microphone. Now, there's a few microphones that you can get that plug directly into your mobile device. Fantastic. Those of you that have phones that don't have a jack, you might have to work around that with some kind of extension or adapter, but there's definitely ones available. You can get Bluetooth ones at this point as well. So have a look, see what's available for the phone and the mobile device that you have. Can you connect a microphone into the device that you're currently using to add that little bit of professionalism to the setup you've got? And as you get more experienced, you might want to do some research into some more sophisticated editing software that gives you a little bit more option. But some of the YouTubers that have had success in those early years is really using things like iMovie before they move into kind of Pro Cut or anything paid for or premium. Top tips to think about. Consider what can be seen in the shot. What have you got on? What's in the background? Make sure you've chose clear backgrounds. You've avoided any heavy prints, spots, stripes. Thinking about logos that you've got when you're filming. Does everything align with the brand you're trying to create? Remember, everything you display, everything you wear sends a message and it adds to your story. So make sure everything fits with your passion, with your what and your why. Choose a space carefully. Try and find a room that has carpets and don't sit in the bathroom, for example. Avoid those heavy echoes. Camera positions, think about movements. Think about the angles and the movements that you're going to have within that video. How's that video going to open? How's it going to close? What are the key movements between those different phrases of your story? The other thing you can consider with these 3 points is filming the audio and the visual separately, and then overlaying that audio so that you know that your audio is super clear. People use things like Rec Forge, REC Forge, or Recorder Plus. That will allow you to record your audio as a separate file on a separate device to the one that you're actually filming the visual with, and then you can cut them together with your editing software. And once you've done the filming and the planning, and you've made those clear decisions, the final thing to think about is creating yourself an edit. Now, 5 basic steps to an edit and how you're going to create that process. First of all, if you're using a camera where you need to import and organize your footage, I mean, you can, of course, edit directly on your phone. There are apps that will allow you to do that, absolutely. CapCut is really, really popular for that short form video. If any of you are using CapCut for TikTok or YouTube Shorts, it's definitely an app that's very well placed to help you there. There's also UCut that might be of use, and another one called InShot, which are all mobile device apps that you can actually edit directly on your phone and post directly from your phone. So it's definitely possible. So if you're not using your phone and you want to import it to a different device, you make sure you organize that footage. What's definitely usable, what's backup clips, can I trim anything at this stage or delete clips that just definitely don't fit? How can I really understand what I've got? Then you can start to think about adding your visuals and your sound effects, making sure you add things like titles, intros, transitions. Now remember, on this, sometimes less is more. You don't want too many effects that it distracts from the story you're creating. Check your sound. Try listening to the audio with your eyes closed. Does it all sound high quality? Is it too quiet? Is it too loud? Can you blend it together to keep a nice balance there? Do you need to make any color corrections? Depending on the project, you might do a couple of color corrections, fix a bit of brightness to make sure that all the shots match, especially if you film different parts at different points. And then you can export and upload your video. You can review the video as a full video, as a whole. Make sure that you're completely satisfied with how everything looks and sounds, and then you can export it. Once it's exported, you can then upload your video to YouTube, and when it's processed, you can then publish that when you're ready. Now, there is a link that Chami can share in the chat from this particular edit slide here to the Creators Academy from YouTube. If you've never edited before, this can be a really nice short lesson on how to edit and get started with the edit for your YouTube content. Which brings me to my second pausing for questions. Let me have a look. Now, I think, Kanat, that I have answered that. How can I edit videos for YouTube? I've given you a couple of mobile apps, and also you've got iMovie if you're on an Apple device. There's YouTube Studio. So there's a couple of different ways that you can actually edit your videos for YouTube completely for free. Now, if you have a Google of paid video tools, you will come up with definitely Premiere Cut or Premiere Pro will be one of those sort of top choices. But have a look through the paid options and see what comes up as best option for you. Now, we have just over 15 minutes left together, and I want to finish off by thinking about how we highlight our content that we've posted. How do we get discovered? And then how do we also understand if we're being successful or not? If what we're posting is great content and is being well received by our audience. Once you upload your video, it's really important to start including searchable video titles, searchable descriptions, tags, and make it as easy as possible for people to find your video, even if they're not specifically looking for the content you've created. So you can see here, enhancing your video's discovery, use keywords. Now, if any of you have been to any of our other sessions, you will have heard us speaking about keywords quite a lot because they're super important when it comes to connecting with the human on the other side of that search. What questions are they asking? What are they searching for within your niche, within your why and your what? What is it that you're looking to be found for? And how can you be searchable by making sure you include these keywords in places like your video titles, the descriptions, and you add tags. Make it easier for people to find you with those tags. The top 3 tags appear right by your video. And the final step of discovery is how you're going to promote the videos that you're creating. Are you going to be promoting organically across different channels and driving people to your YouTube channel? Or are you going to consider paid advertising, paid promotion? How are you going to promote what you're doing on YouTube? So breaking these down, understand your keywords. Do you know what popular terms are already out there in regards to the topic, the niche that you're creating videos for? There's a great tool, the second bullet point there, called the Google Keyword Planner. Now, if you have a Google Ads account, you can use this for completely for free. If you've never been on Google Ads, the bit of advice I'd give you is you can sign up. You don't have to add any billing options, but make sure in that sign up process you look for the little hyperlink at the bottom of the page that says switch to expert mode. Because automatically Google Ads will kind of take you through the steps to creating your first campaign, even if you are just literally creating an account to use the keyword planner. So if you switch to expert mode, you can then go into those tools within Google Ads and use the Google Keyword Planner tool to start identifying what your users are searching for. It's a really nice tool. And finally, use the YouTube autocomplete. Start asking questions that you have within your niche and see what comes up in that drop down, because these are the things that real people have already searched for. The most common searches in regards to the words that you're typing in that autocomplete part of the YouTube search bar. So I come back to our 3 examples. Mama Sherry, reinforcing important words. Mini lemon meringue pies in the title. Easy dessert recipe, linking directly to the goal of inspiring people to cook and enjoy soul food. Great, fantastic. Then we've got in the description, Mama teaches you. Again, links back to the inspiring and the showing people how to. Mama teaches you how to make mini meringue pies. If you haven't already, please subscribe. So again, it's giving us in that description, not just a stream of keywords, but it makes sense to a human being. Identify the content type in your title. Is this video going to be a how-to? So you can see in detailing world, 10 steps or how to detail your car. On how to detail your car. So 10 steps, how to, easy recipe. State exactly what this video is going to be about and the type of content. And finally, have you got something that you're labeling that links into a brand that's super popular within your niche? One thing that's important when it comes to the description is keep that description short and visible. You can see from all of these examples, we get that ... that truncation. So the first 2 lines is all that's going to be visible of that video description. You can add additional information for the see more, for those people that are interested and do tap that see more. But Are the first 2 lines of that video description making sense fully and driving people to want to watch that video content? When we talked about video tags, keep it simple. You can see the tags appear, the top 3 tags appear at the top of the video, above the title, between the title and the video. So Super Sorrel here is used haul, toy haul, shopping. What you could do with your tags is use synonyms or keywords that you've not managed to fit within the title or description of your video. So you're really covering all your bases for that specific niche. How can you make these tags work for you? When it comes to promotion, and I've just seen a question, can you express more how you can promote your videos? Here you go. It's like you pre-read my mind before I got here. A couple of the ways that you can do to really integrate and promote your channel and what you're doing on YouTube. First of all, integrate your channel into things like your website, other social media channels, email, newsletters that you have, anywhere that you have visibility online. How can you integrate your YouTube channel and vice versa? So you can see in Mama Sherry's channel picture here, that header, we have the Facebook, the Instagram logo, the Twitter. So we have started to integrate on both YouTube, but also when we go across to those other channels, promote your YouTube channel anywhere else you've got that visibility. So on Instagram, in your bio, YouTube, Mama Sherry. Now, it's not a link, but it's telling people I'm on YouTube. Facebook, you can actually link directly to your YouTube channel. Now, what you can also do on these platforms, don't just upload the link to your YouTube video to your Facebook business page. Facebook's not going to like that. Facebook's not going to increase the promotion of your channel if you're just sharing a link that's going to take those viewers away from YouTube. Create mini trailers, snippets, teasers that you can upload directly to these other social pages, where in the text you can let people know, oh, I have a YouTube channel. If you want to find out more, go across, find out. And when it comes to understanding your users, which is really, really important, really dive in to those YouTube analytics. Now you can see in the top left of this screenshot, we're in the YouTube studio here. Now, if you've never been in the YouTube studio, what you need to do is on your channel, you will have the option in the top right where you'll have your circle with either a profile picture or have a letter, the first letter of your name usually there. Click on that. And in that menu, you will see YouTube Studio. Click into YouTube Studio and you'll see the page that you can see here. YouTube Studio has a menu on the left-hand side, and within that menu, you have the option to look at YouTube Analytics. Now, this analytics gives you a full breakdown on who's watching, the time of day that they're watching, where in the world they're watching from, and it even starts to give you details on how long viewers stayed on specific videos. So go and check out, if you haven't already, the YouTube Studio and have a look at those analytics that you can find in the menu on the left-hand side. Think about what types of content that you've already posted are driving viewers to your channel. Drill into that list of videos that you already have uploaded and start looking at how you can really create future videos that speak to the audience that have already interacted and engaged with your channel. What creators does your audience have an affinity for? Start to look at the source channels for each of those videos. Have any of your audiences come from specific creators consistently to your channel? Then you can start to think about the reach, the scope of your content as a bigger picture. What's the overall watch time coming from specific traffic to your channel? So these statistics can help us understand what's working, what's not working, and we can start to adapt and change and build our channel to suit the audience that we are communicating with. Now, we don't have loads of time to jump further into analytics, but we do have a link to share with you that is specific when it comes to the YouTube analytics itself. Definitely go and have a look at that link, and it's a video. So go and have a look at the kind of playlist videos that they have on the YouTube official channel, and then also have a look at the Google support that we're going to share for you all around YouTube, how to get started with the YouTube analytics and how you can understand that. But I am going to leave you with a few kind of top tips around measuring your success on YouTube and some of the key expressions, the key terms that you should be aware of. If you've got questions, I'd love to know if my content is reaching users. The key measurement that you're going to be looking for in your YouTube analytics there are the impressions. Now, an impression is logged every time a viewer comes across one of your video thumbnails on YouTube. They may not have clicked on it, but it's had the opportunity to be clicked on. Now, impressions can start to give us an understanding of how many people our content has the potential to reach. The next question, are my viewers seeing, hearing, and watching my video content? Here we've got a couple of measurements that we can look at to see whether we're being successful. The first one, CTR, the click-through rate. This is a percentage, the percentage of those impressions on YouTube that have turned into physical views. So that measurement is a percentage. And then we've got the measurement of views itself. How many YouTube video views have you got? And the final one there, are my viewers interested? Now we can look at things like our average view duration. It's going to give us that estimated average of minutes that have been watched per view on a piece of content. Great. But we've also got the measurement of watch time, which is going to chart how long viewers have spent watching your content as a whole. It's going to give us a sense of which pieces of content that we've uploaded viewers are actually watching, as opposed to videos that they click on and then abandon when they realize, this content isn't necessarily what I was looking for. Once you've started to look at your results and you've started to really be aware of the data, you can start making content decisions and planning and strategy decisions based in data, not based in your assumptions of what you think people that share your interests want. So you can come back to places like your persona, and you can create details around that persona that are based in statistics from your YouTube analytics. Which brings me to our final pausing for questions. We have gone through so much in this past hour together. So while I'm waiting for any questions to come through, I want to have a quick refresh of some of the key takeaways for today's session. The first thing to think about is finding your niche. What is your what is your why, and who are you trying to get in front of? Really understand what your passion is. Really understand what that niche is that you want to create content about. How can you then create engaging content? How can you capture attention with that engaging content? And make sure you take your time before you film. Research, plan, choose the right type of content that's going to work for you, that's going to work for your audience, so that you can really start creating content with confidence and building that consistency that your audience is really going to connect with. And finally, getting discovered and tracking your success. Use some of those tools that we've given you today to start understanding exactly what keywords people are using to find you. How can you then base your decisions as you start to grow your channel in that data that you can gather from YouTube analytics? And also, don't be afraid to try new content, to get creative, to tap into those creative bones inside you. So I'm going to leave us here. In terms of your next steps, I did say at the beginning of the session, we have that fantastic schedule coming up. If you're based in the UK, we have loads of face-to-face events happening across the country, so please do check them out and hopefully see you there. We also have a schedule of upcoming sessions coming that you can have a look at, and you can really start to build that engagement and understanding across a whole range of different digital topics. We also have a certificate on that website called the Fundamentals in Digital Marketing that you might want to take a look at, and if you haven't already. It's a great course, 40 hours of learning that you can use to really get a bit of an understanding across the digital marketing board that might help you really get going and find inspiration. Finally, don't forget about booking your one-to-one mentoring available from Google, completely for free. You can book in and talk about any specific digital skill that you are struggling with. And finally, if you have any feedback for us, please do go to that link there on the screen. I'm sure Chami will share it. g.co/digital garage feedback. We would absolutely love to hear anything that we can be doing to help you grow in this digital space. Other than that, thank you for all your engagement. Thank you for your questions. I'm going to wrap up here. We are out of time, but I hope this has been a really useful dive into creating videos for YouTube. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.